So look, how are you looking today? In recent times, one of the most successful crossovers from the kickboxing world to MMA on a 4-fight win streak.
That's
one with PFL.
yeah.
And I'm looking forward to seeing some of his tactics and strategies, bringing that kickboxing skill set to MMA. So a warm SBG welcome, Mr. Ben Woolliss. Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you guys. Yeah, pleasure to be here, boys. Yeah, one of the things that you're saying there, I think transferring over from like kickboxing and Thai boxing to MMA, there's such like a discrepancy in styles where people don't normally cater for it, and I think there's a way that we can kind of like bring high-level kickboxing and Thai boxing over into MMA, and it's little subtleties that we do that with. Like, I think it's why some high-level kickboxers struggle to transfer over and they become gun-shy, but we'll go over those things throughout today, yeah? We'll just start shadow boxing, just get nice and warm, and then we'll start building from there, yeah? Just a nice loose shadow to start, and then we'll start moving around with each other, okay? Just so I can see your bases and stuff. All right, guys, so just quickly, we're going to move into a drill where we're moving with somebody, but one thing that I want us to focus on, I think the most important thing transitioning from kickboxing and Thai boxing into MMA is our base. You see, like I say, high-level Thai boxers here or kickboxers in this forward shell. It's real easy to outmaneuver them in MMA and stuff, and I think it's different when the guards change with the gloves and stuff. I think the most important bit is our base and our footwork, and everything from here then builds up. What I see a lot of people doing is when we're moving, we're either breaking our position by bringing our feet together. So sometimes if I'm moving backwards with an opponent, we'll start leading like lead foot first. But there's always a point where I'm in a broken position, and here I can't do anything. I can't advance forwards, backwards, I can't attack, I can't counter. The last place I want to punch from or try and advance forward from is here, yeah? Same if I'm moving to the side and I'm bringing my feet together in these positions. These are spots that I'll always look for when someone's moving, and I'll try and capitalize. The second that they break their position, I know they're not really much of a threat, so I can just crash into position, right? So when I'm moving, I want to be in my strongest, most optimal stance, and normally that's going to be our sprinting position. If I'm going to push somebody over, naturally they're going to come into a position, if you stand strong, where you're going to lower your base, yeah, like this sprinting position here. This is going to be my fastest way to be able to push forward, to push back. And as long as I can keep this stance everywhere I'm moving, I'm always going to be in a position where I can counter, I can get myself out of danger. If I have hurt them, I'm able to push forward and then carry on attacking. Yeah, so this is going to be my optimum position that I want to carry with me everywhere I'm going. So if I am moving to my left-hand side, I always want to go left foot first, so at a moment's notice, if I need to attack, if I need to counter, I've got my base rooted into the floor, but I've got my upper body torso and I've got my feet, okay? So I want you to go with a partner, and I want one person to lead moving forwards and backwards, but I want you to focus on keeping your strongest position that you can all the time. So a position that at a moment's notice, if I was to clap and you needed to be in a position where you could sprint forward, sprint back, slip and counter, then that should be with you all the time, yeah? Okay, so have a little move around here. Be in that strong position, elevated back foot. As soon as this back foot goes flat, then that's the end of the line, yeah? If someone's pressuring me and I've got a flat back foot here, I eventually trip over my feet and I'm in a bit of a shit position. If I've got this elevated back foot here, at no point am I ever in a position where I can't move. I'm always in a position where I can move backwards, I can outmaneuver my opponent by moving side to side. I'm in a position where I can spring into a counter, or from this engaged back leg, yeah? Engage the back leg, keep this sprinting position here, so I've got this upper torso movement, I've got my feet underneath me, and I can just glide out of range. So one person will just be moving around forwards and backwards, the other person will just be following and mimicking, yeah? Make sense? So have a little go with that, and then we'll start building off that, okay? But the focus is on that structural position, that sprinting position, where at a moment's notice you can slip, you can counter, you can move forwards, backwards, yeah? Just be mindful of that position, all right? Okay, let's go. So straight away, my body position, I'm already changing my distance, and I'm always in a position where I'm ready to fire. Yeah. If I go lead foot here, I almost gallop out of the way, but at 1 second, I'm out of position. Yeah. See what I mean? Yeah. Once we've got our foundation and our feet rooted, yeah, and we've got a good base, we're then able to attack and defend, all right? Defense for me is the most important part of everything. If we can be safe and be defensive minded and we're real good there, then there's no real need to stress about anything, you know? So for me, like, defense unlocks everything. So I think lock that down easy. And it's not like, you watch like a lot of defensive stuff and you'll see like Canelo moving their head and stuff, Lomachenko, big footwork, but it all comes from building and fundamentals. So you'll see those little snippets, but they're tiny little snippets of a 36-minute fight or something, you know. Everything else wants to be like minimal and effortless. So for me to get out of the way of a jab, if I'm here, I don't need to be all the way out of range here. This is a waste of movement, okay? All I need to do to get out of the way of the jab is literally this motion here, yeah? So if I can work in these little motions here, I can effortlessly get out of the way without expending too much energy, but it also gives me the opportunity to glide out of the way and then come back in and get my own shots off. So a little drill that I want us to do here is your partner's going to hold the backhand, yeah, so it's more realistic to where you're going to be punching, and then your partner's going to swing a hook back, right? And all we want is this back leg and just shuffle out of the way, okay? So now we can be creative on the outside, so we're not just singularly throwing in one phase. I'll be here moving a little bit, showing fakes, I'll shoot the shot, and then I'm just gliding out of range. The partner will throw the left hook back, and I'm just coming out of position here. Then I'm just using my feet. As long as I can control range and I can glide out of the way with my feet, then it's real hard for you to get hit, yeah? If they can't beat the feet, then they can't hit you, okay? So you're always here, keeping this structural base under us, we're jabbing and we're gliding. The second part that you're going to advance onto this is I want your partner every now and then to move in two phases, okay? So instead of me just hopping back and then breaking my position, if I'm here, like I say, and this back foot's flat, I'm in a terrible position. If they then advance again, I start fumbling over my stance and I start having to guard in this shell position. If I keep this back foot engaged and I jab and I slide out of the way and they attack again, but I'm in a position, I can just double push out the way or I can glide off to the side, okay? So I go here, but I'm aware of my position and then I can come back into position, yeah? As long as I don't break the foundations. So this is what I mean, where like everything comes from here and then we can build off from there. So now we're just going to move around, creativity with a lead hand, yeah, little fakes, little movements, jab, glide out of the way, jab, glide out of the way. Every now and then your partner will move in two phases and you just keep your feet and your base underneath you, all right? Okay, little build on that.
What's going on, guys? So if you like the things that I'm teaching in this video, I have an online academy where I'm teaching hundreds of things just like this. In the app, you get access to over 70 hours of content of me teaching. You get access to the community. You also get access to live calls with myself so I can help you personally. The link to come and join the team is down in the description below. So let's get back on with the video.
On that, and then we'll carry on moving, but there's a position, the same way that things want to be layered in our defense. So primary defense always wants to be my feet. It's the easiest way for me to stay safe, yeah? If any punches are coming and I can use my feet, then I don't get hit, easiest way of defending, okay? If I'm starting to break my position, so I can see a lot of people starting to like lean back from this position. Same again, this should be like my last resort, or if I've set up a counter. So if I'm ready to intercept and I know that shot's there, then maybe then I will start to pull back and I'll look to counter. But primary defense, I don't really want to break my position only to defend. If I'm breaking my position just to defend the jab to say, I've put myself in a terrible position only for something that I could have just done this with. Does that make sense? So if I start leaning back here, I've got nowhere else to go from here if I'm not looking to counter. So opt for the feet first. If they can't beat the feet, then they can't hit you, yeah? So no matter what shots are coming, whether it's kicks or punches, as long as I've got good footwork, then I can just move out of the way all the time. I'm not going to break this position. So when you are looking for these positions, use the feet first unless you're ready to intercept or counter. If I'm confident that I've started to understand the shots that are going to come from my partner, so if I know a jab's coming, then I can start to be in position and I can start to look for my counters. But when I'm building on that and I'm getting a gauge of what's going on and a jab's come in, I just want to keep safe, yeah. I'm just looking at what's going on, seeing how they're moving, yeah, just being here. Then when the shot's on, then I'll look to break my position and counter, yeah. So just be aware of that with the footwork. Instead of just leaning for the sake of a single defense, you're breaking your position for no return, yeah. So use your feet first, get used to that, and then if you're looking to intercept and counter, then make sure you're using that broken position to counter on that, yeah. Okay, so now, building off that, I want you to look for a big score, okay? So just shadowing the shot. So the same drill where you're going to be looking to touch the jab and you're moving out of the way. But now instead of just being in this defensive mindset, you're using this to download the data, yeah? So I'm looking around, I'm seeing what's going on. I'm seeing what shots they normally throw back when I do engage. Then when I've got the read and I know the shot's on, then I'll look to counter and throw a more high-paced, bigger score off, yeah? So you're going to work in these phases where phase one is just going to be my defense and I'm just reading. I'm just looking for single scores and staying safe here. I'm just seeing how they're reacting, yeah? Keeping my base underneath me. Then when I know a shot's on, then I'll fire into a second phase and build from there, okay? So start to look for those shots and create those opportunities, all right? Yeah, look, sometimes I want your partner to throw a jab, sometimes I want them to throw a hook. So you're starting to get the read of how your opponent moves and then looking to counter specific shots, yeah? Rather than it just being very monotonous here where I know this shot's come in and I'm moving in that direction. I want a little bit of creativity, fakes here, I'm touching, I'm moving. Then when I know a certain shot's on, then I'll look for a counter, yeah? Okay, so we'll build off that, all right? Let's go. Good. But if you're in a position where you know you range real well, as opposed to knowing what shots come in, does that make sense? So if I don't know what shots come in, but I'm good at controlling range, so even if he throws a hook, like if he throws the hook, but I can't understand if he's going jab or hook, I don't really want to slip. You know what I mean? But if I know if he throws a hook or a jab, but I can glide out of the way and I can understand range, then I'll look to pull out the way, and then I'll look to counter. If I know that he's going to go for a jab, then I can look to slip. Does that make sense? But if you're fighting someone who's real tricky with this like lead hand and they're maybe baiting you into kicks and shots, then I wouldn't look to take my head off the center line. I would look to just move in a safe position in and out. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, we'll add on one more time and then we'll get into some specific drills, yeah? So now the same thing, but I want your partner to be able to throw any attack, and one person's going to focus on defense, and then we'll switch roles, okay? So again, this is an easy way to see that this stance and this base is going to get you out of the way of any shot. If sometimes you're struggling, like knowing if you should slip to counter or you should pull to counter, the easy way for me to understand is like, if I definitely know a straight shot's coming or a jab's coming, then I'm going to look to take my head off center line, stay in this position, and I can counter. If someone's real tricky, say with their lead hand, and you don't know if they're going to throw a jab, a hook, a left high kick, then you don't really want to be taking your head off your center line and coming into a vulnerable position. So that's where, for me, it's always better to keep your feet safe and use that to come in and out, okay? So now a partner's going to throw any shots, so we can throw jabs, crosses, hooks, round kicks, and I'm just looking to use my feet to stay out of the way, okay? So I'm not looking to slip too much or be inside, I'm just looking to stay safe. As soon as I do come out of range, I'm looking to cover that range again though, all right? So I'm not giving them momentum by attacking and me just covering ground and then being out here and now they're covering space. The second that, say, I move out of the way of the jab with my feet, I'm looking to then push back into this range, yeah? So I'm not giving them the momentum and the space to come forward, yeah? They're not like they're pressuring me. I'm effortlessly moving out of the way of the shots, but then I'm still coming back into range, yeah? So my presence is still there, I can still push forward. But so your partner's gonna attack, and I just want you in a solid base here, and just moving out of the way, yeah? Just keeping this ground here. And then when you see an opportunity, then look for a counter, all right? So now thinking a little bit more, there's more attacks to think about, and then looking for a big score off that, okay? Last one, and then we'll get into some specific drills, okay? Let's go. Okay, time guys, we'll move into some specific drills. If you've got shinies, we'll chuck shinies on, but there's something to think about there, just that base. I think your foundations and your base is what's going to allow you to be creativity. Yeah, have creativity, have flow, and that's where you're going to shine. But the defense and being comfortable in defense, that's what's going to give you a composure, and that's what's going to actually allow you to like unlock all those things, you know, all coming from that feet up. But if you've got shinies, just whack shinies on. If not, we're going to start drilling some kicks in that, yeah, just don't blast your partner's head off with no shin pads on. Everyone's back on, yeah? Okay, so again, like I say, footwork for me is like the most important thing of everything. It can get you out of trouble and get you straight back into trouble. But if I can use it to defend well, I can also use it to attack well, okay? And footwork for me is very subtle, okay? So it's not like huge movements and kicking my feet around. It's very subtle movements coming in and out of range. So like I say before, if the jabs come in, this is all I need to be coming out of range, yeah? So this is real good footwork that's actually gonna keep me safe, okay? Now it's the same when I'm attacking. If I'm in a position here and I'm just out of range, right? So if I'm here and I can't really hit with this lead leg, all I have to do from here is glide this back leg up underneath me a tiny fraction, and now I'm completely in range to be able to bring the shin over the head, right? So if I'm controlling distance with my lead hand, but I know I'm out of range for this inside kick, all I have to do from here is bring this back leg subtly underneath me from here, and it's another way of disguising it when my opponent's not gonna see it. You see a lot of people, like if I'm throwing my lead leg, they'll throw a big switch kick, but there's a huge tell before I even go, okay? So there's like a red light before I even do anything that a shot's come in and it puts them in a position to defend or get out of the way. It's almost like me getting ready to throw a shot and then swinging here, okay? For me, it's like a bit of a waste of movement and too much of a tell. So I like to hide it with my footwork. So I'll use this rear leg. I'll distract and I'll control with my lead hand as a distraction, and then from here, I bring the back leg underneath me and I can ping the left high, yeah? The position for my back leg, okay, I can still put it in the exact same position I'd put it in the switch kick, so I can still bring my leg behind me and generate power, okay? So all I'm doing with a switch is putting myself into this position where my leg's behind me, I'm now rotated on this foot and I can whip through. I'm doing the exact same thing, but just with a subtle step here, and then I can ping over. It just hides it, okay? So my body language is a lot different. I'm a lot more relaxed here. I'm just setting a rhythm, and then I break the rhythm and I can fire. As opposed to being here, switching before I even do anything and then banging it, all right? So same again, I want you to focus on the base, the footwork. But when you're ready, you just slide this underneath your base here, okay? So I slide this right leg underneath, and then I transition my weight into my back leg, and I can fire the left kick high over into the head, all right? So from here, I'm out of range, I can't hit anything. From here, all I have to do is bring this back leg marginally behind me, minimal here, and now I'm on range, yeah? So here, out of range, can't touch anything. Back leg moves tiny, I can fire, yeah? I can fire to the body, I can fire to the head, okay? All just from this, yeah? So have a little play with that. The back leg is behind me, I'm in my base where I can move. As soon as I'm ready, it glides underneath my hip, and now from here, my range is there. Okay, have a little play around with that, and then we're going to look at options from that same mechanical movement, all right? Let's go. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, exactly the same. It's just this coming underneath. Yeah.
Yo, what's going on, guys? So just a reminder, if you are enjoying the things that we're teaching in this, you're enjoying the concepts, the methods, the tricks that we're teaching, then we do have an online space where I personally teach all these things. Hours of content, community, live calls, where I'm able to jump in and help you with any problems that you've got. The link, again, is in the description below. So let's get back to the video.
What's that, brother?
Any combination with your lead hand?
Yeah, just creativity, yeah. Just the same thing, yeah. Faking, movement, touching. Just finding your range and just like disrupting your opponent, you know? So just here where I'm thinking about position, but maybe I'm out of range a little bit. Put myself out of range and then marginally put myself in and just fire there, yeah. Right there. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. There you go. So if I'm here, I can stay in the same position by pendulum him. I can kick, I can draw forward if I know I want to advance after. Or I can hit and I can return to southpaw, I can step, and then that's going to give me range. So it's all depending on where I want to be after. If I want to be in the same spot, pendulum, same range. If I want to advance, I will draw down and fire. If I want to get the fuck out of the way, then I draw back, and I come from southpaw to orthodox and I create loads of space. Yeah, right there. So that's something I'm going to go over in a minute. I'm trying to keep my posture as high as possible so there's no tell. Like if I start leaning back here, you automatically know a kick's coming. Whereas if I can keep this position here and I can almost like, we're going to go over elevating with a knee first so we can like chop over. So then it becomes a point of like, I can be here and I can be going to the body, I can be kicking low, I can be kicking the head, but it's hard to tell from the posture. If every time I lean back, it's obvious what I'm going to do, you know? Yeah. Okay, so just a quick little detail on that kick then, and then this is going to allow you to find other shots from it. So if you're kicking and every time that I go for a high kick, even if I am being subtle with my range and hiding the position, and I'm leaning every time, it's real easy to see from my posture and the position that I'm creating that I'm going to kick to the head, yeah? One, it's going to be obvious, it's similar to the switch. It's like I'm giving a tell. My body changes before the shot goes, okay? The other thing is it's going to put me in a bad position sometimes. Unless I'm setting it up, there is a time and a place where I can lean back into these shots, but if I'm just throwing it in singular motion, then I want to keep a good posture, okay? So I don't want to break my position and give a tell. So an easy way to do this is we lift our knee high first, okay? So it can be, if I kick with a straight leg, this is a very karate style technique, yeah? So as I'm here, I kick up, all right? But we want to integrate like a Thai motion where we're actually driving through the head at the same time, okay? I can do this by elevating my knee and keeping a good posture. Now from this position, instead of me kicking up, from here I can still engage and kick my hip through, okay? And it allows me to keep my posture and my position right. Now, if I can keep my posture right and I can kick to the head from here with no tell, this also allows me to kick to the leg, to the body, to the head, with the exact same position so it's hard to read. And this goes for the same for the rear leg, yeah? So if I'm here and I have the exact same position that I kick to the calf, I kick to the leg, I kick to the body, the head, yeah? I can question mark from the same position, stab. It all comes from the same tell. So then it becomes hard to read. And it's hard to know if you're going to go low, mid, high, wherever, yeah? So the same way that we want to hide our punches and be very subtle with our shots so they're hard to read is the same way I want to be with my kicks. So as I'm here, focus on trying to keep a good posture. So the same position, I elevate my knee before I do anything. If the knee goes high, then it's easy for me to kick and follow through, all right? So have a little play with that. Try and keep the posture the same. Try not to lean back. And your first port is focus on the knee elevating, and then you can generate and kick through, okay? The other thing is like the knee elevation. So as I kick into this position, same thing, you don't know if it's coming through the body, if it's coming to the head, if I'm elevating here and changing my angle. Again, it's all the exact same position, but the outcome is different, okay? So have a little play with that, all right? And then we'll build off there, okay? Lovely. Nice. Yeah, find that range. Yeah. Even just use that lead hand to find that range before you go anywhere, you know? Yeah. Always knock, see what's there, see where you are, and then go. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, touch. There you go. Touch and then go. That's it. Okay, so now we're going to build on that, yeah? And I want you to add some creativity to it. Another shot that we can add into that. So for me, like lead hand and lead leg is great for control, all right? It's a way of me disorganizing my opponent, finding my range, setting up shots, but it's also safe, yeah? I'm not like leaving myself extended. So if I miss a jab and they move out of the way, it's easy for me to come back to a solid position. If I'm using my lead leg and they move out of the way of the high kick, it's easy for me to stay safe. If I start to throw my rear, it's a big score, I lose position, then it's easier for me to get countered. So I want to set these shots up. But lead hand and lead head is great for just disorientating an opponent, finding my range, yeah, and I can start being creative with these positions, all right? So from this shot, we're going to use our lead hand, and we're also going to use our lead leg. But another shot that I want you to have a little go with is like a stab with a lead leg, okay? So the same way that you can break someone down with a jab, I like to break people down with using the stab in the front, the ball of the foot, okay? But it's not the big motion where I'm stabbing from this position. I'm literally elevating and then digging my toes into the stomach, yeah? You can go front or round the side. You see, the Japanese at the minute are incredible at it. They can throw a full round kick, but they're only landing with the ball of their foot, yeah? And you can see Takaru, Tenshin, Yoza Yuri is really good at it, a guy coming up at the minute. They go into these positions and they just stab and just cripple people, yeah? But it's effortless, you're not breaking your position at all, okay? Same way that I can just break down someone with a jab and I don't lose position, the same way that you can be here, you can use this lead foot and just cripple people with them shots, but you're not breaking your position, yeah? You're always in a solid foundation. So now I have a little go moving around, being creativity with the lead hand here, but the lead leg, going to the head, going to the body, yeah? Be mindful of that shot, because it is like a horrible shot into the ribs, okay? Maybe just place that position. But now just move around in a little bit more creativity with the lead hand and the lead leg, focusing on that knee position, focusing on, I've got my base underneath me all the time, I've got my posture, so every shot, no matter where I'm going, looks exactly the same in these positions, but I've always got my base under me after, yeah? Have a little play with that, and again, we'll move on, okay? Let's go. Sorry, I didn't mean to catch you on that. I know. So the stab is like, it's effortless. So I'm not like really engaging anything. I'm literally lifting and then just kicking like this. Like it's just an extension of the leg here, all right? So when I'm going here, depending on your position, I'm either angling to come into the stomach here, like that. But if you start to defend this position, then I start looking for the liver around the side. You see what I mean? Yeah. So you're defending here. If I'm in southpaw, I'm probably coming into that position there, yeah, or stabbing in through the middle. But it's real effortless. It's like a nothing kick. It's so annoying, like, because in the sense, yeah, it looks like absolutely nothing, but it's horrible. So I can just be in this position, it's just boom, stab. Yeah, but I'm not breaking the position, but you're looking for just, yeah, the ball of that foot. So you've got this massive surface area. If I do a round kick, like, you've got all this power, but it's this huge surface area coming across. If I minimize that surface area and turn it into that little point, it's like a knife. And that's what you're looking for. It's just like a little stab. Yeah? Like, yeah, definitely hanging. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes you even turn the foot. So instead of just coming forward, sometimes it'll slip, especially if you're sweaty and you can like slide off. So I want sometimes to turn the foot and like really dig into this position, you see. Then there's nowhere for it to slip. Yeah. Just an extra little hip engagement. Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. And then you start playing around with that. Start going to the head, getting them to respect that. As soon as they respect that, oh, this is open, you go to the same position, and then, yeah. Okay, guys, we'll just add on from there, okay? So now, in this range, right, we're going to start building on all of this. So you've got range where I'm controlling range with my lead hand, and if they're throwing the jab, I'm gliding out of the way. This, for me, is phase one, where I'm downloading information. I'm seeing how they're reacting. Phase two is I can start to build on this, so I understand what they're doing, and then maybe I'm using my lead hand for these shots, and I'm starting to build on these shots, yeah? Phase three is then I'm looking to get big scores, and I'm looking to, like, really attack from there. But in between this, obviously, your opponent's going to be reacting certain ways. If they're staying where they are, then phase two is great. I can be here and I can just ping away all day, yeah? They start to attack and I use my feet and I glide out of space again. But sometimes they're going to crash range, yeah? So they're going to be thinking, they don't want to just be on the end of the stick just getting hit. They're going to be looking to crash into this range, okay? So now I want to disrupt their base. So we've just spoke about how the base is the most important bit for us to be able to move, for us to slip, yeah, counter. So as soon as they start coming into this range and I'm here, I want to disrupt their base. Real easy way is using my lead leg to pull them off, and then I can fire into shots, okay? So I'm real mindful of where they are by using my lead hand on this position. This allows me to set up my shots, but also as they crash in, I can control, I can sweep, and then I can fire into my shots from there, all right? So I'm controlling space here, I'm pinging shots, they're getting annoyed, they come and crash in. I'm compacting my position, yeah, I'm not lazy in this position, because obviously as soon as they're crashing in, I'm now in danger, okay, for big strikes. So as they come into this range, I'm real tight in my position, I've got my hips back, yeah, I'm in a position where I'm ready to defend whatever, and then from here I sweep this leg out, and then I can look to counter, or I can look to get out of the way. As soon as I've disrupted their base from here, no matter where it is, I can look to get away, and then look to score, yeah? Or I can just look to disengage. So if I want to just ping off here, fire shots, they crash in, I move the base and I escape, and then I can just reset when I want to reset, okay? And I'm controlling the pace of the fight. If they come in and I want to disorganize and then shoot and get big scores, then I can also use that, okay? So I want you to do the same thing but build into this. Get used to just controlling this position and sweeping the leg, but it's through layers and phases, yeah? So phase one, I'm on the outside, I'm just staying safe here. I'm looking for single scores, shots come back, I'm using my feet, I'm keeping myself safe. Phase two, maybe I'm firing shots off from this range. As soon as they advance in, I'm compact, I'm tight, I off balance and I can score. Or they come in from here, I off balance and I get away and I can re-engage when I want to re-engage, yeah? So have a little build on that, okay? Let's go. Yeah, and then you can look to score because I've got nothing. The last place I'm going to ever be able to be strong from is here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, off them positions, that's it. Yeah, nice. Lovely. Yeah, nice. Yeah. But you can still do it in this tight position. So if we're here and we're framed in, yes. Instead of me just kicking here, I'll just hook it. You see what I mean?
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
So I don't need to cut an angle because if we're here and then I cut off an angle, you're going to follow me, right?
Yeah,
so I'm not going to be able to create that position. Yeah. So I need to be here and I need to be able to sweep it out and then go.
And then when you...
Yeah. It's like a hook it off.
Right.
Like this position and then the base will go. Nice. Like a drag, you know?
One more, can I do it? Yeah, go.
Yeah, you get it. Yeah,
a
little bit. If they crash in real close and you are like here, then I'm probably just going to opt for either the knee or the foot. Yeah. If I've got if I'm a bit more, if we're both kind of framing and we're here and I've got a bit more space, from here I can probably hook it off and go from there. Yeah.
So you keep your foot like this or use it like this?
Depends on what it is that I'm doing. So if I'm attacking, if I'm going for the lead side, I'm just looking for this inside sweep here. If I'm coming around, then I'm looking to like hook it and take the base away.
Can you hook it?
Yeah, so there's two ways when I'm either looking as you're stepping, so as you step forward, I'm either looking to take it off, or if I'm in this position and we're compact, I'm looking to take it away outside. You see what I mean? So that's like a hook, the others are like foot sweeps. Yeah. So now, everything there has been pretty much position, range control, and staying safe with our lead hand and our lead foot. But now you're going to look for big scores off your backside, okay? So your right leg and your right arm. But it's the same principle for me when I'm going into these shots. It's not all of a sudden like I've landed a clean shot and now I can start to swing in. I still want to be very like methodical with it and hide the shots. So when I am in these positions and I'm looking for a big score, I'm disorganizing, I'm moving. But then when I am ready, it's like I'm still compact and hiding the position. So same with my right leg. The same way I was talking about hiding with a knee line and firing here. It's the same way that my posture will stay the same for a right side, a right low kick, yeah, right question, whatever it is, into that position. But now just start to look for big scores off the right side, okay? Think of the phases. So I start off my phase here. I'm using my lead side here, yeah, fakes. Partner throws back, yeah, and I'm using my feet to stay safe. If he comes in real close, I control, I can sweep, I can fire, I'm back out of range again. Enter when I want to enter, yeah. Keep my posture right, my position. But then when I am ready, then I'll look for a big score off it, okay? Hide the shot though. Try not to just swing into these positions because if I lose my base and he moves out of the way and I've swung, it's easy for me to get countered and it's hard for me to get back to position. If he moves out of the way and I stay compact in my position, I can glide straight back into range. Same with my kick. If I throw a wild kick and he moves out of the way, I lose my position and I'm in a bad situation, yeah? If I use my knee line and my posture and he moves out of the way, I'm back in position here, ready to go again, all right? Okay, have a little go of that. So you're just building with the rear side, the right hand, the back kick, but just think about your position prior and after, okay? That's one, let's go. Nice. Yeah. Try and go inside if they're rushing on that kind of pace. It's a lot safer.
Yeah.
Like the outside's a little bit trickier to get. But if they are just bull rushing forward, I can just frame and I can still be in this tight position. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess,
Yeah. And almost move back with it as well. So if he's crashing forward, I can be in a position where I'm still, I'm still in that tight frame.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes if he's crashing in with punches and I'm a bit late, I can get clocked here, you see?
Yeah.
So I want to be like as compact as possible here, then I take his base away, then I can go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, nice. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
it's
has you in Ireland? Was it just coming over to do some...
Yeah, I was over with the prize guy sponsor.
Oh,
Came
yeah.
over to meet a sponsor. Yeah, prize
the
guy
Nordies.
Paul. Yeah. And then yeah.
You did a bit of a tour, were you up in Belfast?
Yeah, just in Belfast yesterday and then swung straight over. I was supposed to do the Wembley card for Bellator that's just been, and then Japan, which had been, a Japan Rising card, which was like a bucket list for sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
fought in Japan before?
Nah. I had opportunities, but they never came through. For K1 at like Tokyo Dome when they did that.
Amazing.
Yeah, but visas and all that kind of stuff came in. But that was a dream. But maybe like starting next year now, just dealing with some injuries and stuff like that. Get healthy. And
Yeah, and when you're back, did you ever want to come over for
a
move
million
around with some
percent.
of the guys?
Yeah, I've wanted to for years. Yeah, it's just the timing and everything.
Sure,
But yeah, absolutely. But nah, it's wicked, man. Yeah, thanks for having us down, and yeah, it's cool.
Brilliant.
Awesome. Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Awesome.
Whenever you're ready.
Yeah, I'll call it there. Yeah, awesome, man. All right, time, guys. We'll finish there for today. Hopefully, there's some stuff you can take away from there. Like I say, the main thing is just that base, that fundamentals from the floor that's going to bring everything up. If you can like solidify those fundamentals, then that allows creativity. And then if you can like get good with controlling range and mastering that defense, then I always think that's what like allows the composure to actually let that flow. If you're very stiff and you're worried about something, then it's going to be hard to then let loose, But if you focus on them very simple fundamentals, it's very easy to then relax, as I'm sure many of you know already, yeah. But yeah, wicked guys, thanks for having us and I appreciate it. Cheers.
If you're involved in boxing or Muay Thai, or you're looking for martial arts to change your life, then we've got something here for you.
If there's any young fighters out there, young martial artists that want to learn, Ben Woolliss has one of the best online instructional libraries that you can ever see.
So I've been involved in martial arts for over 20 years. Along that journey, I've collected 2 world titles and trained with some of the best people in the world. I've trained with champions from the UFC, from ONE FC, and world champions in all different disciplines. While on that journey, I've also trained across the globe and been lucky enough to train with some of the best instructors. Like I say, being involved in combat sports for 20 years is a long time, and I went through a lot of mistakes during that time. So that's why the 365 platform has been created, so you don't have to go through the same mistakes. Join the movement and a community of other fighters just like yourself, and I'll see you inside.